Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is June 18th of 2025. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears that CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to stage an apocalyptic terror event by the Islamic Republic of Iran in the next 24 hours, most likely targeting the United States, Europe, and or Israel. So exactly what type of attack is planned is obviously not known, but it'll likely happen between the 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time window and the 12 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the night of June 18th and the morning of June 19th. Most likely during the Ali In versus Juventus soccer game that's being held at Audi Park in Washington, D.C. So this game is a UEFA Championship game that's being played in the United States. It's being broadcast all around the world. For those of you unaware, Juventus is one of the biggest soccer teams in the world, previously having Cristiano Ronaldo and other stars on their team. And they're in the United States for a tour, which is featuring a number of high-profile teams, and their team is playing in Washington, D.C. tonight. After visiting the White House, meeting with President Trump today in the Oval Office. And so some sort of false flag attack is planned by Israel, by their Mossad, by their IDF, by the Israeli Navy, that's going to be blamed on Iran to take the United States to war with Iran, where the United States is going to be declaring war against Iran on the date of June 19th of 2025. If the CIA forgoes the 9 o'clock p.m. to 12 o'clock a.m. window on the night of June 18th, 2025, they will likely stage some sort of an attack on the morning of June 19th, most likely between the hours of 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So exactly what type of attack is planned is obviously not known, but it will likely be CBRN in nature. That's chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear. I'm going to list the plots which I have identified that the CIA has tried to execute since the onset of the Israel-Iran war back on the date of June 13th of 2025. So it's imperative to note that the night of June 18th marks 5 days since Israel began their attack on Iran. So if there's a second event, it will make 2 in 6 days. So 26 equates to the letter Z, which is an acronym for Zionism. If they execute an attack on the 19th of June, it'll mark 6 days since the onset of the war back on June 13th, and this will reflect the 6 days on the 19th, and this is the 6 and 9 numerology that is found in the nuclear attacks of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, executed back on August 6th and August 9th of 1945. Also, the date of June 19th is FS numerically. So the 6th month equates to the letter F, and then the 19th day equates to the letter S. This is FS. This is an FIS, which is the Federal Intelligence Service of Switzerland, which is the CIA, the Swiss CIA. So this is numerically, this is when they would move, is on their numerology. Because as I've said a million times, all the terror attacks, assassinations, and wars are executed on what are called kill numbers, and this is the CIA numerology, which I have deciphered. So what is in the works is obviously not known, but a 9/11 style nuclear terror attack is the most likely scenario. I have identified Houston, Texas as the location for the night of June 18th of 2025. Other potential locations are obviously New Jersey, New York, Israel, Washington, D.C., and the capitals of Europe, such as Paris, Berlin, London, etc. There's also the high likelihood that the CIA is going to stage a full-scale Israeli attack or invasion of Iran on the date of June 19th, or vice versa, a full-scale Iranian attack and invasion of Israel, which will draw the United States into war on behalf of Israel. It's also likely that the CIA is going to stage some sort of major offensive against Israel by Islamic states in the region, such as Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Iran, obviously, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, etc. It's also highly likely that the CIA is going to stage some sort of atomic, hydrogen, or nuclear related bombing targeting Israel or the United States and or Europe, which will subsequently be blamed on Iran. So, um, once again, not to beat a dead horse, but it's basically that the CIA is going to stage some sort of apocalyptic event in the next 24 hours, basically to trigger all out World War III. I have identified a plot which I have published. It's called Satan's Helpers, and it's basically a Pakistan backed terror plot for a 9/11 style nuclear terror attack targeting Israel, which will be blamed on Pakistan. This may become by way of Pakistani Air Force jets with a nuclear bomb on board, or a hijacked FedEx cargo plane, which they load up some sort of nuclear warhead from Pakistan's arsenal of nuclear weapons. If the CIA foregoes some sort of made-for-TV 9/11 style nuclear terror event, they will likely resort to some sort of storming attack on the morning of June 19th. So this could be a subway system, it could be trains, it could be a stadium, it could be a government building such as the U.S. Capitol building or state capitol buildings. But I have identified Rutgers University in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois as the most likely locations. But they could do this in London, they could do it in Paris, they could do it in Tel Aviv, in Jerusalem, but some sort of siege. So Iran was scapegoated for the siege of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, which was likely committed by Mossad members. Iran has stormed numerous embassies, allegedly, and so some sort of prolonged hostage crisis is expected. There's also the realistic possibility that the CIA is going to stage some sort of Iranian attack via their alleged proxies of Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthi militias, etc., possibly targeting Venezuela or another oil-rich country, specifically to trigger World War III. Last but not least, the ongoing war in Iran, as I've stated on record numerous times, is basically political cover for the assassination of one Donald J. Trump. So this may be an Iranian poisoning attack, an assassination. I just published a report yesterday about an Iranian cyber hijack of a U.S. drone or NATO drone as pretext for a drone bombing assassination of U.S. President Donald J. Trump, which is why they ordered him to assassinate the IRCG general, Qasem Soleimani, via drone strike at Baghdad International Airport back in January 3rd of 2020. So they created this narrative whereby Iran avenges Trump for the death of their leader, and they just killed a bunch of leaders, military leaders in Iran, and so some sort of blowback attack targeting U.S. President Donald J. Trump or U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth or other members of the Trump cabinet is expected. So obviously, the aforementioned scenarios don't encompass all potential scenarios, but considering it is Iran, treachery is on the menu. This is obviously going to be executed by the Israeli Mossad, the IDF, the Shin Bet, the Israeli Navy, and then it's going to be blamed on Iran as pretext for World War III. And there's also the possibility that the CIA will activate or mobilize the 25,000 troops, Israeli troops called up during Operation Breaking Dawn, and then stage some sort of a fake Iranian invasion, as I previously mentioned, targeting one of their neighbors in the Middle East, or they will take them to a secondary location. The United States has military bases all over Africa, Asia, the Middle East, Europe, and so some sort of coordinated attack by Israeli special forces or IDF soldiers posing as Iranians. If it is a false flag, what you're going to see is black masks. So this is because they want to cover their identity, and then you're going to have likely the Iranian war flag. So we're all familiar with the red, green, and white flag of Iran, but their war flag is red. So it's likely going to be pretty interesting. You're going to have black masked Israelis posing as Iranians with a red war flag. That's what's expected, and they may hold siege of an airport in Europe, a Capitol building in Europe, a city, um, some sort of a government building, like I mentioned, or a sporting event. But some sort of attack is in the works. So, just to reiterate, for the record, between the hours of 3 p.m., or I should say, between the hours of 9 p.m. Pacific, between the hours of 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and the 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and the day of 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 18th of June, and then 9 a.m. on the morning of June 19th. This window, let's see, what is it, a 12-hour window. This is likely when they're going to strike, whether it be in the Middle East, whether it be in Europe, whether it be in the United States, in Washington, D.C., or New York. So this is when the attack is expected, because in the evening of June 18th, between the 9 p.m. and 12 a.m. window, is this football game, soccer game, excuse me. And so this is when the attack would happen in the United States. And then if they decide to forego that and they go in the morning time, then that would likely be around the same time that they executed the 9/11 attacks, which was just after 9 o'clock a.m. on Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. So a redux of that is expected. So obviously, if the false flag, which everybody's talking about, everybody from Tucker Carlson to Candace Owens, to all these different talking heads in the media, is that they know that the CIA is going to stage some sort of a major false flag. We know that the Mossad is running the show, and that they're responsible for 9/11, they're responsible for 7/7, and so this false flag, this is designed to trigger nuclear World War III, is going to happen in the next 12 to 15 hours, I would imagine. And so obviously if that happens, I kindly ask that you download this video and share with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets, praying for a peaceful 24 hours. Peace.